Something that you don't hear men talk about is coming out of divorce and having to rebuild their life. Rebuild who they are, rebuild their career, literally starting from scratch. Take me, for instance. Here I am. I'm living in my toy hauler, rebuilding my business from the ground up. I had a beautiful house, 10 acres, horses, tractor, huge shop. Man, it was nice. Would I change anything? Would I do it all over? No. I gave everything I had into that relationship. And there was a point where I had to accept defeat. And I had to move on. And here I am. Starting over. Becoming a better person. Focusing on who I am and where I want to be in life. But it's humbling. Starting all over. But I wouldn't change it for anything. But it's tough. If you know someone, male or female, that's going through that, that's in their rebuilding phase, that are coming out the other side, pat them on the back. Cheer them on. Support them. Because they could use it.
Two major lessons that I learned from getting a divorce. Self-love. It's not loving somebody else. You have to love yourself first and not be relying on something outside of you or somebody outside of you to make you feel good, to seek validation, because when you have that love inside of you, that is also an energy that you put off that will attract that same sort of energy. But if you don't have that energy, then you're always going to be seeking something outside of you to feel that happiness, to feel that love, or whatever that feeling is that you're seeking. But majority of the time, it boils down to the same thing. I hope this helps. Drop me a like, give me a comment, share this video.
So I'm starting this series, pretty much like the life of a recently divorced guy. My wife just sat down with me the other day and was like, hey, need to have a talk with you. Things aren't working. I'm not happy. I've already thought about this. Pretty much you're not changing my mind. I'm like, well, fuck. Well, there's a lot more to that, but don't need to bore anyone with the details. But kind of just want to make a series of all the shit I'm about to go through. Being single and kind of on my own for the first time in 8 years. So she's staying in the house. I left, had to go move in with my mom, and got to save up a couple paychecks to get an apartment and everything. We have a 2.5-year-old daughter and 2 stepkids. But yeah, I'm starting this series, and just a bunch of things that I'm gonna run into, good, bad, ugly, who knows, but I think it should be pretty interesting. It's kind of a part of people's lives you don't really see publicly, but fuck it, maybe it's like a way for me to kind of vent, and some weird form of therapy. But yeah, just follow along and see the shit I go through.
A specific event that started causing that drift?
She had a pretty big career-changing job switch. Obviously, all of her time. I'm not knocking it for like it, but it's just like, and quality time is very important to me. But it's like, hey, worked all the time, would come home, be on her phone still, kind of working still. I would say maybe that attributed to it.
Everybody I've spoken to, they always say that people tend to get married and things are great for a while, but then somebody, the man or woman, discovers a passion, something that they've loved and they didn't know they had a passion for, whether it be a job or a career. They just become overwhelmed because they found their true self in, and they weren't expecting this discovery.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads to the separation, because in essence, this person's changing to something that you didn't marry, but again, it's an evolution of their character. Do you think that's kind of like what happened? She found something she loved and she was great at, and she was putting all her efforts in?
I think you're spot on. I think that's exactly what happened. Let's say not in a negative way, just
No.
similar to you. She was 21 when we got engaged, 22 when we were married. Like, as you know, we're not involved at all. We have not become who Scott is at 21 and 22. So she was growing and figuring out who she was supposed to be. So was I. Yeah, I think she definitely found herself and who she was supposed to be. And that person also wasn't my best person, like my fit.
Wife informed me that she wants a divorce. And I left just to
keep the peace.
Keep the peace, and I'm still here. The locks, I went back the next day and the locks were changed. And
I've been on the streets for about 30 years. And the reason why I become homeless is me and my wife got a crucial divorce. Bad marriage, a broken heart from hitting the streets.
Me and my wife get a divorce. Family, 1 minute they want you to stay, a week go by, time to leave again. So it's just very difficult.
Well, I went through a bad divorce, lost everything I had, and moved out here to start over. Went to the doctors, and doctors took me out of work because I got rheumatoid arthritis, and my liver's failing.
Lost my house, my kids, my car to a violent relationship.
A broken marriage.
Relationship?
Yeah. Lost it. I have emotional issues I couldn't deal with. Car broke down. Ran into the wrong people at the wrong time. Got robbed. Lost pretty much everything.
A divorce. Then I rented a room. And then I came down with epilepsy and started having seizures. And the guy didn't want me there. And the next thing I know, I was in a assisted living house.
Got a job in a restaurant again, which I was an executive.
Mentors told me a while back that divorce is an initiation for a man. That when a man goes through divorce, he finds out who he truly is. In that process, he finds out what's truly important to him. Divorce is either going to break him or it's going to make him do something great. Now I'm starting to understand what he was saying. Because of all the dark times I've gone through, there were a lot of times where I was ready to give up. I was ready to throw in the towel, call it a day. As I'm starting to understand where I want the rest of my life to go, this is all happening so that I can do something great. It's taken me 2 years to realize that. As I'm getting rid of all of these clothes, I'm getting rid of all these items that I've held so precious for so long, I'm starting to understand that the majority of everything I've done in my life was for someone else. Everything that I did in our marriage wasn't for me, it was for her. Now I finally get to liberate myself with all the knowledge and the wisdom that I've gained to do everything that's right for me. I get to live the way I want to live. I get to go after the dreams that I want to go after. I get to go after the goals that are important to me. Marriage can be a beautiful thing if you are both on the same page. If you have reciprocity, if you have compromise, if you actually truly love each other and you want the best for each other. The majority of the marriages we have nowadays become people pleasers. In that marriage, everything we do in that marriage is for our wife or for our kids. We rarely do anything for us. And I think our first divorce is to show us that we shouldn't compromise who we are and what we want to do. We shouldn't compromise our own dreams, our own values. And if you do that divorce right, you actually do the healing work and you actually do the introspection, then you're actually going to come out of that a better man, a better father, and a better human being that knows exactly who he is and where he wants to be. And I know a lot of you men look at me like I'm full of shit, and I get it, trust me. But I promise you, if you do the work, if you stay true to yourself and you rebuild the foundation within you, you will come out of this a better man, better father, and a better human. And you will be grateful for everything that you've gone through. But you have to go through the darkness, and you have to embrace the pain, to allow this pain to truly change. Because that's the only way to make it out of this alive, is to allow that pain, allow your emotions, allow everything to teach you everything it needs to teach you.